So it's about 11:30. I didn't get much done this morning due to fear. I've been over this repeatedly. Um, I was up around 5, and I've got to get ready to go to my appointment, which is at 1, right about now. It didn't pass the stability test when I first loaded it. I had FoodBar open all night, and when I first launched it, it was flat again. Um, but I was able to resolve that by closing FoodBar and reopening it. That was all that was required. So that tells me that I had to maybe reset the drivers or something. Um, there's nothing running. It doesn't really add up. So the only thing that was actually running that would have had anything to do with the M Audio card would have been a little applet here running in the in the system tray, which was really just a quick launch to the control panel applet. So I've taken that out. I don't need that sitting there. I think the reason why I wanted it to sit there was because I didn't realize I could just get it from control panel. But now that it's unnecessary. So I suspect that it had something to do with that. I just reopened that, so I'm gonna reopen FoodBar, reset that again, and it is sounding right now. So I'm gonna go to the doctor's appointment and come back and see if it's still stable. If it's not, I'm gonna have to disable the M Audio card. Unfortunately. So I got my blood tests results today. As expected, my estrogen is a little low. That's normal, actually. The reason is because when you take hormones like this, you're supposed to increase your dosage periodically, and I haven't increased my dosage at all since I started 6 years ago. This is largely the reason for this is because I should have increased my dosage maybe around 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But I switched doctors, and then it was a question of finding a doctor, and I had to go to London, and everything else. So this is the first time that I've been able to get like a blood result, and regular like empirical based reasoning. So he increased my dosage of the estrogen. That is good. That's what I need. I've been aware for some time that I was going to need that. So it's actually a little late, but it's. It's not. I have some estrogen in my bloodstream, but it's maybe about half. He increased it by 50%. So and then I need to get another blood test 3 months from now to see if it's affected. That said, I'm going to wait a little bit before I switch because I want to quit smoking first. There's 2 reasons. Number one, because the smoking itself is an estrogen blocker, so that will reduce the amount of estrogen in me. And number 2, because the smoking has, I mentioned this before with the blood clots. I really shouldn't be smoking at all. It's a little bit obscure, but I don't want to increase my estrogen levels until I've got this cigarettes dealt with. So I've got the prescription. I still have lots of prescription left from before, so I've got plenty of time to play with that. And so long as I can get this project done and quit smoking within the next week or so, that can move forward. That said, I'm gonna have to put a hard block on myself. I set a smoke budget for me of this month of $60. That's it. Whether I'm done the project or not, I need to cut it off then. So that'll, I'm smoking about a half a pack a day. I've already spent 30. So that'll last me probably until around the 10th. So I got another 10 days or so to adjust to that, and just work that out. And then I'm probably gonna want to give myself a couple of days to get it out of my system before I switch over. At that point, instead of taking 2 tablets a day, I'll be taking 3 tablets a day. I'm not sure how I'm going to work that out yet. I might take 2 in the morning, or I might switch it so I'll take 2 in the morning, and the next day I'll take 2 at night, and then, so it'll kind of cycle around that way. Or I just might take them every 8 hours, and do it like that. I haven't decided yet. I should probably do a little bit of research to determine if it's better to have it like at once or just kind of steady like that. The other thing is that my cholesterol is, he told me, it's the lowest cholesterol level that he's ever seen. And it was actually, I'm so healthy apparently. Like, he asked me what my diet was. He seemed a little disappointed actually in my diet. I told him I eat mostly fruits and vegetables, and I do, as you can see. So he asked me, "Are you a vegetarian?" No. In fact, about the only meat I'll eat is salami. He was taken aback by that, because salami is one of the worst meats to eat, but I don't eat a lot of it. He started asking me questions like, do you eat quinoa? Or he was expecting some like wonder drug answer. My diet is actually fairly. He asked me about the essential amino acids and stuff, and it is true that I have set my diet up to ensure that I get everything that I need. But it's otherwise fairly unremarkable. I make sure that I get lots of the good stuff, but I don't really go out of my way to minimize the bad stuff. And he seemed a little bit confused by that. In some level, relative to what you're supposed to understand about food and healthy eating, my diet doesn't make sense. And to have it come back with such healthiness really makes little sense, except that the kind of prevailing wisdom isn't the true prevailing wisdom. There's 2 reasons why I'm healthy. Number 1 is that I don't eat a lot. It really matters more the quantity that you eat rather what it is that you eat. You will be far healthier if you eat small amounts of pure grease than you will if you eat huge amounts of lettuce. Okay, that's just, it's not, you need to make sure that you get enough of the essential things, and for me, that mostly means drinking a lot of soy milk, because it's fortified with so many good things. Just getting that in the morning every day means I get all the good stuff. And you need to make sure you get all your essential amino acids, you get enough vitamins, all those sorts of things. That's very important. But you don't want to eat too much, because it doesn't really matter what you eat, your body stores it as fat, right? So, regardless of what you eat, your body has to do something with it. And because we're evolved to take advantage of that, especially more so white people, because we're coming out of the ice age and cold climates and stuff, we expect to store fat for fuel and for warmth and all these sorts of things. And if you give your body a lot of fuel, it won't burn all of it. It'll just store it. So the way to stop yourself from storing it, and whatever that means, as fat in your tissue, or, in your liver, or whatever else, you just don't eat too much. And that's really the best health advice that you can possibly give anybody, is don't eat too much. So that's the first reason I'm healthy. And the second reason I'm healthy is that I get exercise. I walk. I burn excess fuel in order to carry out the exercise that I do. And the major reason for that, and in fact, everything else aside, the truth is really reducible to one simple fact. I am healthy because I do not have a car. And I'm going to repeat that. I am healthy because I do not have a car. That is really the basic bottom line truth of it. Everything else aside, I do not have a car. And therefore, I am very healthy. And if you really want to learn anything, you really want to get ahead, in terms of your healthiness, and learn something from my lowest cholesterol levels that he's ever seen, if you must have a car, don't use it, and except in the situations that you absolutely have to. Um, Whatever you're doing, walk to work, walk to get your groceries, walk to everything. Walk. It's the best thing you can do for yourself if you want to be healthy, is walk. And it's just that is the actual. I mean, it helps that I don't eat a lot, but the actual real truth of it is that the reason I came back with the best blood test levels he's ever seen is because I don't have a car. And that's what you can learn from this. I have nothing else to do for weeks now. My next appointment isn't until March 1st, and I really have nothing else on the agenda for until then. I think the next show I really have to see is Tortoise, and that's in March as well, I believe. Might be February. I'll double check that. But I've got nothing to do except work, and I'm going to. It's almost 1 and I blew the evening. Mostly afraid to come back in here again. When I first came up, it was the same stupid problem again. And it was resolved again by simply closing FooBar and reopening it. So, I'm actually not clear at this point if the issue actually might even just be FooBar. That would be... I have noticed before that it might... I don't know. I've restarted the machine with the audio turned off. The only other thing I can think of is maybe there's a service running, but I'm going to start it from here and try it from there. There's not a lot more steps that I can try. I will eventually just uninstall the card. It's the least important one, but I'm not entirely sure that's what it is yet, so I'll have to check a few more things. So I changed my mind a little bit. If the worst thing I have to do is reload the software, then that's not a problem. I checked it. So I switched it over to the M-Audio card. I did check it briefly, and it doesn't seem like it's fading. Although I'm fading. So I didn't get as much as I wanted done today. I need to upload. I'm a few days behind. I wanted to get some kind of resolution before I uploaded anything. It seems like I probably will get to a resolution one way or the other tomorrow. I'm going to let this sit and come back to it when I wake up.